guys, here it is, the CSL carbon fiber trunk for the E90. This thing looks amazing. I'm definitely really happy how it came out. It was a pretty simple install. I decided I'm gonna do this video a little bit differently, where I sit here and show the cinematics first and then show the install. But let me know which way you want me to do it. Cinematics first, then install, or install, then the nice cinematic shots. But this thing definitely looks really nice, much better than I could have ever expected. And it's just beautiful. There's so much carbon fiber on here. I'm not sure if I might paint it. I really don't know, but if I do paint it, it's gonna be a couple months from now. But yeah, I think I might paint it and then just leave this little where kind of the license plate area is. I'm gonna leave that carbon fiber. But this thing definitely came out extremely well, and my car has changed a lot since you guys last see it. As you could tell, it is lowered now on BC racing coilovers. I definitely like that a lot. It gives it a much nice lower look, and this thing handles incredibly well. It has upgraded M3 control arms. Of course, I have some brand new LED headlights, kind of has the halos from like the F series 3 series. Definitely looks really cool. Carbon fiber grills. We also painted a couple things in the engine bay. Carbon fiber strut brace, a simple intake, but there's much more things coming to this car. Some power upgrades, a lot of cool things are coming, so definitely stay tuned. But let's go ahead and get into the install for that trunk. We are back with another install today, and today, guys, we're actually going to be installing the CSL carbon fiber trunk. This is one thing I wanted to do ever since I actually had this car, and this is definitely a really cool trunk. The website says it saves about 17 pounds. We're going to be honest, I didn't buy for that. I really wanted that cool, kind of that little CSL lip, a little more OEM plus compared to the current carbon fiber M4 style wing I have right now. So I always wanted this. Is definitely a really cool look. Honestly, I might end up painting it in the future, but I might leave a little license plate out in carbon fiber just to show a little bit of the carbon fiber, because this is definitely a lot of carbon fiber, but I love the look of it. It is definitely nice, and it's honestly extremely light. Like, I can straight up lift this thing right here with one hand. I'm lifting it very carefully because I don't want to scratch it, but as you can see, I can literally lift this thing with one hand. It is extremely light. But yeah, 17 pounds. It is definitely really nice. Now, this is more of honestly a review more than an install. So this might not be one of the best install tutorials, but I just really wanted to show you guys somewhat of the process of installing this really, really cool trunk. The thing I decided we're going to start with is actually removing the emblem here. It's actually pretty simple. Just want a simple plastic Timtrol. Maybe put a little cloth in between so you don't actually ruin your paint if you're trying to sell the trunk later on. And just kind of want to wedge it in between there and pull it out. All right, surprisingly, that came off pretty easy. I suggest you go in from the bottom right here. It's a little more of a lip, it makes it really easy to get, but we got it off. Now it's time to move on to the inside of the trunk. Now, to remove the inside trunk liner on the top here, you just got 6 little fasteners. You can use a little trim tool removal, and then we got 2 little bolts right here. Pretty simple. All right, the trunk liner has been removed, but as you can see, it's still attached to the little safety strap here. You want to go ahead and take the strap and kind of pull this back a little bit, right, like this, and then you can kind of take this little metal like pin thing and pull it out. Now, with the trunk liner removed, we can much better see exactly what we're dealing with here and what really needs to be removed for us to take this trunk out. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with the actual trunk latching mechanism. We got 2 little screws right here on the right, and they're pretty easy to take out. Now, with both screws removed, there is also one on the bottom I forgot to mention here, but now we can go ahead and pull this back and actually take it out. And we're gonna go ahead and disconnect these pins and try to snake them through right here. Next, we're gonna work on removing these lights for the license plate. It's actually pretty simple. You just pull it to the side right here, and then you go ahead and lift out, and you can see the connector, and make sure you go ahead and detach that. Now that we have removed both lights for the license plates, all we gotta move the trunk head. You pretty much wanna sit there and take it and lift up from the top and pull up and then take it out. It's pretty simple. I saw some really weird ways where they're trying to tell you to go from the inside. That is terrible. And this stuff right here would actually cut your hand. It's very sharp. I actually cut mine. But yeah, and then just simply pull out this little. Now, the last bit of wiring is to simply do our simple inside part of our tail lights. Now, mine might look a little bit different here. I do have these upgraded LED tail lights. If you want to see how to install these, watch my last video. But yeah, it's a pretty simple removal process. Got to take these 2 out. Very, very simple. And then pretty much undo this screw right here, and these clip in from the side right there, and you should be able to easily take them out. It's very, very simple. All right, both license plate lights are taken out here. Pretty simple. I went ahead and depinned it from the trunk, the actual wiring harness, these little pins where you can just remove them, one right here, one right here, and then there's another right here. And as you can tell, pretty much everything is now removed from the trunk. But this is the part I was actually kind of most worried about, and that's actually trying to snake this whole wiring harness here through this little trunk latch area. I'm not sure exactly how to do this. There's not that many tutorials on how to do it here, but I know you simply pull this back here. It's a little hard. Give me a second. There we go. You pull this back, and then you have to somehow try to sit there and snake all this through here without damaging anything. So yeah, it's already getting snagged around here. This is definitely not going to be the easiest thing to do. Remove the little bump stops for the trunk. You also use it to adjust the fitment too, but they're right here pretty simple. You kind of want to pry it under here with like a plastic trim tool. It is extremely hard. If anyone knows a better way to do it, please leave it in the comments down below. All right, we got 4 simple bolts right here. They're 11 mil. All you gotta do is remove them, and then the trunk should finally come off. And of course, make sure you have all of your wiring out. And yeah, these bolts are actually very, very loose. Actually, one little turn with the socket wrench and it's pretty much finger loose from here. Definitely want to be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and start holding it once I get to the last 2 bolts, because I definitely don't want this thing, you know, falling on my car. All right, I have the trunk finally removed. It was pretty simple. Luckily, when you actually take off the bolts, it kind of falls into this pocket right here and didn't damage it too much. But if you have a second person to help you, I definitely would do so. But we have both trunks removed. And after actually lifting this and taking this off, I have to say, there is a significant weight difference, a huge difference in weight. This thing is actually really, really heavy. This is actually really, really light. Definitely really cool. But yeah, time to actually install the new trunk. Now, if you are doing this with only one person, luckily the trunk is actually pretty light, so I was able just to simply hold it up right here with one hand and then hand thread each of the screws in and then slowly tighten them up. Now, I have heard there are issues with the actual fitments of these trunks sometimes, so I did screw them in for now, trying to line up as best as I can. I was having some issues, as you guys can tell. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the wiring harness in and then fully actually close the trunk and then try to play around with fitment to try to get it perfect. So simply all you gotta do is pretty much reverse everything you just did. Okay, so we're almost done reinstalling the trunk. Now, one thing I did wanna do is actually replace these trunk struts and actually the hood struts. That's what this ECS tuning box is. They're pretty cheap. They're like 10, 15, maybe $20 for each strut. And you know, it allows the trunk to actually open up properly. So if you see right now, the trunk is closed, but when I go ahead and open it up, it doesn't actually open up all the way. If you don't know, normally the whole thing is actually supposed to just spring up automatically. So replacing this is actually very, very simple. There's just these 2 little areas right here. You just want to go very carefully and stick a flathead screwdriver in here and loosen these up. It's not too hard at all. So once you do have both of these loosened up a little bit, it pretty much comes right out. Just wiggle a little bit. This one, like, it got a little bit, it came back in, so I have to loosen this one up right back again. It's not too hard at all. Sorry about the weird filming angles. This is not the easiest thing to film, and then you can just pretty much have that come right off. This is the new strut here. Have both of them loosened up. It pretty much just slides on just like this and just tighten it. Really simple. Go to the bottom here. I'm gonna go ahead and just snap it right on. 1 second. There we go. A little hard there. And then go ahead and snap it on just like that. Pretty simple. Time to do the other side. All right, guys, the whole thing is finally installed here. As you can see, it definitely looks really cool. A little bit more aggressive than OEM. You kind of see that little lip spoiler kind of built in right there. A tiny little bit of a duck lip. I definitely like the way this looks a lot. It took a little bit of work to get it done, but it finally is here. Now it's time to go film some cinematics.